Dear delegates representing various countries and teachers, a very good morning to you all. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning, and especially when you all are geared up to represent your countries and the MUN which you are participating in. Do you know why we conduct these MUNs for you? Because we want you to be good speakers. Because good speakers ultimately make good leaders. It is our sole aim to produce the best leaders from Arya. And best leaders would come when we give you those opportunities. So you should be thankful to your institution that this wonderful opportunity is being provided to you all, where you stand up and speak in front of everyone. And when we say when you have to speak, there are few things you have to keep in mind. First of all, your clarity of speech. You should be very clear what you are speaking about. That clarity of speech would come when you know your subject, what you are going to speak thoroughly. If you know what you are going to speak, if you know your mind, then you can speak it very well. So keep that in mind, that I have to be clear about everything that I am going to speak. And your communication skills have to be at its best, so that other people don't get bored while you are speaking. And then another important thing which you have to keep in mind, because when you say I am speaking, you may speak for 40 minutes, but there will be people who will be just listening for out of those 40 minutes for those just 5 or 10 minutes, isn't it? But you have to ensure that they listen to the whole thing what you are speaking. And how will that happen? When you have all the facts and figures in place. Whatever you are speaking, you have ample of reasons to say that yes, I am speaking the fact. You should be clear with everything, facts, figures, everything should be known to you, and then you can present it before everyone. Then only people would take you seriously, that yes, this person knows. So always when you stand up to speak, ensure that your facts and figures are perfect. While I make a statement in front of all those countries, I have to keep the interest of my own country in mind, but at the same time, I am not going to let down any other country when I am speaking. So you have to be that diplomatic. Do you understand my point? But the people choose you and send you to represent your country at a particular, maybe at the Model United Nations or anywhere else. You are a leader and you go out and speak. People have chosen you to represent India. So people have chosen you to keep the interest of your country in mind. But at the same time, no other country should be let down while you are speaking. So these few things I just wanted to share, and I congratulate each one of you for having been selected to be a part of this grand MUN that is happening today here at BCS.
Team delegates, Honorable Chair Delegate of New Zealand desires to solve the problem of health issues globally. Let's see what are the common or chronic diseases. Previous WHO studies have examined the aggregate disease burden attributed to the key environmental risks globally and regionally, quantifying the amount of death and disease caused by factors such as unsafe drinking water and sanitation and indoor and outdoor air pollution. Some diseases that spread globally are trachea, bronchus, lung cancer, and many more, but the king of all these diseases is cancer. Cancer is a major health issue for New Zealanders. 1 in 3 New Zealanders will have some experience of cancer, either personally or through a relative or a friend. Cancer is the country's leading cause of death and a major cause of hospitalization. Reducing the burden of cancer in our community is one of the government's priority areas. Since 2010, the Ministry of Health has led a systematic and coordinated approach to cancer control through a national program involving district health boards and regional cancer boards. The national program provides a focus for cancer control and for system-wide improvements made across cancer services. The next disease I want to talk about is rheumatic fever. Rheumatic fever can develop after a throat infection caused by a group A Streptococcus bacteria. So now let's see how New Zealand is addressing rheumatic fever. The RFPP was established in 2010 to prevent and treat strep infections, which can lead to rheumatic fever. The program was expanded to 2012 following the 5-year Better Public Rheumatic Fever Services target. The government invested about $65 million to prevent and treat strep throat infections which can lead to rheumatic fever. The government continues to work with other government agencies, ministries, health organizations to reduce the rheumatic fever rates throughout New Zealand. Thank you. The chairperson and all the delegates of different countries. Today here, the delegate of England wants to share something with you on Global Health Crisis of England. World Health Day is a global health awareness day sponsored by WHO and celebrated on 7th April every year. The day has previously raised the awareness for food safety, mental health and blood pressure, and this year focuses on beating diabetes. But diabetes is not the only disease which is affecting people in UK. There are top 4 diseases which are affecting people in UK. They are heart and circulatory disease. It is the most common cause of death and is a major problem in Afghanistan, Russia and Guyana. Second is cancer. It is one of the biggest health issues affecting not only UK but the world. Third is respiratory diseases. 2 main diseases which have the biggest role in UK are asthma and COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. 5.4 million people have asthma and 3 million people have COPD. Fourth is liver disease. The most common cause of liver disease is obesity, hepatitis and alcohol misuse. The last is that the main reason for these diseases is obesity, and for obesity there are some maps which are designed by the government to help people beat obesity. In the last I want to tell you that UK is a 12th country and it's also called a helping hand. It's helping its neighboring countries like it's helping Africa in dealing with Ebola virus, and if you suffer from serious illness or injury, it provides you an additional support. And the last I want to tell you that take care of your body because it's the only thing you have to live in. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
Threats like HIV, AIDS, malaria, tuberculosis and polio. It also addresses growing rates of cancer and diabetes issues that are intertwined with lifestyle factors. The World Health Organization is still reeling its better response to Ebola and is struggling to reinvent itself. Canada has the longest waits for the medical care in the developed world. Canada needs innovation solutions to improve primary health care. The government of Canada is committed to taking actions on the health crisis and is supported by an evidence base. Canada needs help from the WHO and the delegates of USA in the improvement of the primary health cares. At the last, the delegate of Canada wants to say that together the world is stronger and alone the world is weaker. Thank you.
Delegate of Canada, that you told in your country nutritional disorders are much. So what is your government doing for it?
Nice question. Thank you for asking it. The government of Canada is advising the people that do exercise and because of the cold weather they can't prefer it. More capable of turning around a global health crisis than we think. We delegates, the delegate of Republic of India is here to enlighten the committee on the global health crisis. Today humans have reached every height of development, but it is disgraceful when we take a note on health issue around the globe. The ever-increasing death rate due to various diseases, lack of health care is very alarming. Global health crisis is a problem that is crippling the entire globe. The main victim of these problems are the developing countries. The most deadly infectious diseases that are taking the population and killing millions of people are malaria, pneumonia, tuberculosis, HIV, AIDS, etc. This is not a regional problem, but a problem of the entire globe. The delegate of India would like to say that every country must take strong initiatives to detect and respond to these diseases. India has been a donor since it attained independence. India has helped many countries. Countries must encourage Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani explanations. Thank you.
Esteemed delegates, Chair Delegate of Japan desires to solve the problems of health issues globally. Let's see what are the common or chronic diseases. Japan is an island nation in East Asia located in the Pacific Ocean. It borders China, North Korea, South Korea, Russia and Taiwan. There are many diseases prevailing in Japan like cancer, rabies, blood contamination, etc. The level of the health of Japan is due to a number of factors including cultural habits, isolation and universal healthcare system. The Japanese people are the healthiest group on the planet. For prevention of cancer, people drink 1 to 3 cups of green tea. Japan has relatively a high rate of tuberculosis. Japan has also experienced a rabies epidemic in the early 20th century. Many actions are taken by the government of Japan to solve these health problems. The government is pushing for community-based care by increasing pay for family doctors who are visiting patients in their home. The prices of newly released generic drugs will be reduced to 50%. They are currently priced at 60%. Young smokers who want to kick the habit will have easy access to doctors. Those under age 35 will get 70% of the nicotine addiction treatment covered by public insurance. So, precaution is better than cure. Be healthy and be wealthy. Arigato gozaimasu.
Ohio gozaimasu, my fellow delegates. The delegate of Japan desires to share views on global health crisis. Japan is known as the land of rising sun. Being the most educated country, its citizens suffer from unbalanced nutrition and non-communicable diseases. Firstly, high levels of smoking coupled with a rapidly aging population. Secondly, cancer appears to be striking with the most frequency at the planet for the Japanese. Air pollution is a serious problem in Japan, but to reduce it, Japan should use electric cars because they do not emit toxic pollutants. Suicide as a result of depression has become a serious issue. Japanese encephalitis or JE is a disease spread through mosquito bites. Symptoms include fever, headache, vomiting, swelling around the brain and coma. Japan has solved the various problems by these measures. Japan's tobacco lobby fires up as government pushes ahead with tougher smoking laws to reduce cancer risk. Cut out sugary drinks, eat instant starches, try to walk 20 minutes a day and so on. The most powerful cure in Japan is natural green tea. It helps to cure cancer, cold, headache, etc. The Japanese people can prevent themselves from Japanese encephalitis by getting JE vaccines and preventing mosquito bites. The practice of meditation can provide a way for an individual to assess people in a cool, calm and collected state. WHO supports other countries as well as Japan to increase their disaster risk management capacities. The Japanese healthcare system needs to adopt an efficient medical control organization to ease the strain on existing healthcare professionals and to increase the number of physicians and other healthcare resources. At the end, the delegate of Japan wants to say that Japan is doing everything to make it a disease-free country. So I request every country to do the same. Arigato gozaimashita.
You actually looked like delegate when you were speaking, and I'm proud of you that this is the stuff we have produced, and I hope that probably the last year's experience helped you to prepare this year, and you are much better this year than the last year. And doesn't matter if somebody couldn't get this time, and there are many more because today only Principal Ma'am has announced that in the middle section also we are going to carry on with MUNs, because middle section was not doing with the MUNs, but from next year onwards. So that means when you're going to 6th standard, you will have another opportunity. So you keep on improving. Ma'am has given wonderful tips to you to improve further. So whenever this time I really like that you all were able to raise questions. It is not that you studied about only your own country, but you had studied about the problems of the other countries. That is why you were able to raise the questions, right? And next time, next step is that you further improve, read more about the country, as ma'am suggested that you should work on causes as well. So whenever you work on any problem, you should talk about the problem its causes, and the solutions. So all three have to be covered, because if there is a problem, there must be a cause, and you can find the right solutions if you know the causes, right? So all the best in future, and you all have become very good leaders, and I am proud of you all. Clap for once for yourself.